Although at the time economically ahead of the South, North Korea remained a developing country, and living conditions lagged far behind America. All involvement in propaganda was suspended following the incident at the Soviet embassy. Confined to their own private world, they began to wonder if they had outlived their usefulness, and if they had no value, they had no future. Several minders from the Korean People's Army were assigned to them. These political guides could verify their continued education.
As far as living the life like a Korean at that time, it was rather ridiculous. They told us the best thing in personal safety right now until the people begin to understand you and you be able to understand our people is to live a rather restricted type of life. We didn't live in barbed wire fences, and we didn't have guards. Our guides would come and leave. You can say actually he was like a servant. Of course, he's the party servant. He always tells us, anything you feel you need or you want to do, just let me know and he'll arrange it. The first years we didn't do nothing. The standard was fishing and drinking parties, and we passed time. We read some books, novels, the works of the great leader. We go out in the river and take our swims, lay in the sun and smoke our cigarettes. We always talk about home. It's funny, everyone leaves home, the first thing they sit down and talk about is home. When we go out, we're gentlemen. Dress like a gentleman, act like a gentleman. There were no joking or laughing. Kept our mouths shut. Listening to foreign broadcasts is infiltration of foreign culture. I might ask one of the guides what's going on in the outside world. If he wanted to tell me, he would tell me. If he didn't, then it didn't disturb me, not at all.
The world they had left behind was changing beyond recognition, but the Americans were cut off, with little to do but study the works of Kim Il-sung and government policy. From this isolation emerged the inherent flaws in their friendship.
Everyone got along good until in 1965 when Genghis come over, everything went to his clique. He tried to push everyone around like he was pulling rank in the army. Absher and Paris, they liked that. They become friends with him immediately. I don't go through that. I'd taken my uniform off when I crossed the line. I didn't consider myself military no more. And nobody, I don't care who he was, he's not coming up to me and tell me I'll do this and I'll do that. I didn't kiss nobody's ass, and I wasn't kissing his. They threw me out for Jenkins. Let them be like they are. I told them in the future you're going to realize they only didn't live long enough to realize the truth. One day he tried to push me around with his so-called rank, and there was 2 blows. I hit him and he hit the ground. He wanted to attack me back, but I think the slap on the face was enough to settle him down. I'd rather not make any more statements on Jenkins. The more I think about him, the more I get the ass.
By 1972, the Americans' re-education was considered advanced enough to be granted North Korean citizenship, in return for the state allocating them housing, food rations, and transportation. They would now go into society and work for the revolution. Their biggest contribution came in 1978 with their starring roles in a propaganda film epic set in the Korean War, which would transform their standing in North Korea from hated Americans to national heroes.
I never thought of ever playing in a movie. First of all, I thought I didn't have the talent, though I found out I could meet the demands of the director.
적을 형성하려면 내 자신이 그만큼 우리 인민을 더 열렬히 사랑하고 자신이 애국심이 불타야 자기 적을 훌륭히 형성할 수 있다는 거죠. 이건 우리 경애하는 장모님께서 일찍이 우리 영화 예술론에서 저희들에게 가르쳐 주신 그런 말씀입니다.
저주가 있으나 아메리카요.
The general was Kim Jong-il, Kim Il-sung's son and future successor, who took a particular interest in movies. According to Kim Jong-il's published guidance, cinematic art could only be created if it developed revolutionary consciousness among the people. Nameless Heroes was a prime example of Kim Jong-il's cinematic art, released over a 3-year period and 20 parts long. This iconic film depicts Americans as evil schemers, South Koreans as their puppets, and the North Korean agents as heroes, battling against them all towards the ultimate victory.
I don't consider it a propaganda movie. Why? It's based on the main facts of a man who carried out his espionage activities in South Korea. So, in order to catch this man, every means possible were used.
The enemy, 적이다.
I took great honor in doing it.
Mr. Yudum, you've got
The 4 Americans were each assigned a character. Absher was Carl, a subordinate to 2 evil Americans. Parrish was Lewis, a British officer who detested the imperialist occupation of his native Northern Ireland. Jenkins was Kelton, the evil mastermind, and Dresnok was Arthur Cockstad, the brutal commander of a POW camp.
Arthur Cockstad is one that had to be done, and I was willing to do it.
I'm pleased to meet y'all here.
당신들을 여기에서 만나게 된 것을 대단히 기쁘게 생각합니다.
Interrogation, torturing, cross-questioning, and if necessary, to shoot him dead.
Luis.
Parrish and myself were the best 2. Absher, he freezes a little. He's a little stiff in his acting. Jenkins, he did a good job in that last part.
Is that so?
They picked the right man, a cunning son of a bitch. That way he carried out the role perfectly. I don't believe I could do.
Many more acting roles followed for the defectors. Typecast as evil Americans, they became stars of the North Korean silver screen. To this day, Dresnok is known in North Korea as Arthur, his Nameless Heroes character's name. Absher would not share in the success. In 1983, he died of a heart attack. He was just 40 years old. Despite their common backgrounds, the 3 remaining defectors were growing apart. Dresnok and Parrish could converse in Korean, but Jenkins could rarely make himself understood. Their friendship was fraught, especially because Jenkins, having brought an M14 to North Korea, was entitled to more rations. But the popularity of nameless heroes had changed their lives. By playing evil Americans, they had adhered to the cinematic art demanded by Kim Jong-il. They'd established their revolutionary credentials.
The hardest part is so much wonder. Always wondering. Why are you, Joe? I do this rambling to myself a lot when I'm alone. If I cut the grass or something, I get to think about Joe, and I'll ramble just like this to myself. Still wondering why. I cannot know why, but until he tells me, I'll never know why. But Joe, I miss him. I wish he'd come here and talk to me. I really do.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tony.
Happy birthday to you.
Ooh, Tony.
이거 뭐구나?
Happy birthday, Ching Ching. Okay. Good boy you are. Drink up, boys. We like a simple birthday. We don't believe in rushing to restaurants and trying to make something fancy. We're simple people and we like a simple life. The birthday is not the very important thing in life. The most important thing is for people to be satisfied with their life and to lead a happy life. I've taught in a foreign language college in 1986. I poured all my knowledge and effort to help them, to teach them. Some other places in the educational fields, they invite me to give a lecture once in a while. I'm not very educated, so I gave mainly conversation and hearing lectures. 우리의 말은 과학과 기술과 함께 더 많은 원천들을 찾아내야 한다.
We must find out more research with science and technology.
This is Pyongyang University of Foreign Studies. And foreign language to someone who would like to study foreign countries is like a weapon to a soldier. 70 or 80% of all the information stored in the electronic media is stored in English. So for scientists and for those people who want to keep up with the latest change, it is essential to have a good command of English language.
In America, none of the defectors had graduated high school. In North Korea, their children were enrolled in Pyongyang's